Welcome to the RedIn30 podcast, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and us, all using red words.
Using red words. Blech.
Well, hello, guys. Here we are on the RedIn30 podcast.
RedIn30.
Episode 9, Nueve!
Wow, I can't handle it in the headphones.
Yes,
Sound
we're
guy,
here,
please
and so
make sure.
we are on a 30-day
Wow.
reading cycle of the Gospels, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and you, us. And so I'm here tonight with the lovely Nakia.
What's up?
Hey, Nakia.
That's not how you pronounce my name.
Nakia. No, it's Nakia tonight. Nakia.
Nakia.
And I'm here with the bro, DM the Fresh.
That was the best intro for him. Hey, we had to keep that up.
And, you know, I'm here. I'm Pastor J, JDNVN, all that. You know,
All that.
we
Instagram
here.
shout out.
Talk about
JDNVN.
Jesus.
Wow, I like that.
JDNVN, yeah. J Donovan. It's my name.
Oh, your name Donovan too?
My middle name, yeah.
My name Donovan too. Look at
They're
that.
the same.
Oh, God, knew what he was
Donovan,
doing,
bro.
boy.
Yeah. Connected us
One of
by
my
our
names,
name. Before we
joking.
was in the mother's
Before we
womb,
was in the womb.
we was together
Yep.
as brothers
Yep, as
I believe
brothers,
that.
you heard
and
me?
friends.
And friends, you heard me?
Because what greater love
And lay down a...
than a man
Well, lay down his
who
life.
lay down his life
I love
for a
it.
friend?
Oh my God.
That's RedIn30.
And I do that for you, bro, all day.
Hey, let me wipe my hand out.
Oh my
All
God.
right.
All day.
Now you, Nakia? I don't know.
The bro
Hey,
love
we'll
is
jump
so
on.
serious.
We'll do it.
Yeah, we would.
Because we wouldn't have a podcast. With...
All right. Kinda.
Oh,
Oh, my God.
No,
RedIn30.
you make the podcast so sunny.
Yes. Stay on the sunny side. The sunny side. The sunny side. Stay on.
We singing it
Hey,
bad.
but you hit that one tonight. You hit that one, bro. Hey, he hit it just now.
Wait, he'll never live it down.
Now his album about to drop already.
Already.
Well,
Sunny
dropping next
Side by JDNVN
Sunny Side, the
featuring
remix.
Danny
No.
Azora.
If you search for that, you're not going to find it.
Shout out to Danny Azora. Y'all go listen to Sunny Side. It's dope.
Donnie!
If you haven't heard it, go check it out
Yes.
on all streaming platforms. But we're here, guys.
Yes,
We're
we're
here.
here.
Are we here?
We here.
It's episode
9.
Nueve! Hey!
We had to translate for the
We're
other
translating
English people.
for people to understand 9.
9.
And it's cool. We almost in the double digits.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah,
we
I'm
get close.
excited.
We're going to do something special for our 10th episode.
Yeah, we're gonna do some special
Yeah,
for the 10th.
we
Hey,
will.
I'm actually excited too because we actually did. We got some special we're gonna drop. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, by the time they hear this, it's already gonna be out.
Oh, yeah.
The RedIn30 on the road.
On the road.
Yeah, that's
And we were
really
in
cool.
Richmond and we decided to do it with the homeboy, D-Rob, aka Daniel, aka DR3,
DR3.
aka whatever he wants us to call him.
DR3 music.
And so that was a very festive one.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
That one got really wild and reckless.
Yeah, it started at 2 a.m., so you already know what time
Yeah.
that could have been. But it was cool though.
It was good, though.
Yeah, it was good.
We had got to a good spot.
Yeah, and then
We just drifted.
we just went that way, the other way.
If y'all hear the drifted parts.
Right.
Probably not. In the archives, in the vault.
It's gonna be in the vault.
Right.
Nobody's gonna hear those.
The RedIn30
Not
vault.
RedIn30 vault.
Yeah,
One
Red
day.
Dirty Vault is real.
Yep. So Jesus, truth, and you.
Yes.
We believe that Jesus speaks about us, shows us who we really are. We love the whole Bible, but we know that
Yeah.
those red words really tells us our place, our identity, and how we play, and also our
Yeah.
perspective on how we see everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so talking about perspective, we've had great questions, our comments,
yeah.
in our DMs, in our email.
Yeah,
Remember to send us emails, guys. We're reading them. RedIn30, spelled out 30 at
Yep.
Gmail, and then at RedIn30 on
RedIn30.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
All
you
that,
know.
all that.
So we're gonna read we're gonna read 2 of our questions.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we'll tell you guys how we responded, so you can give your 2 cents if you want, if you're watching.
Or 3.
Blah blah blah. Or 3.
Oh, you can
Okay,
give a whole
so-
dollar.
Yeah.
Give a $1, you hear me?
So the
sense.
first question I'll go over now. This guy was basically he was responding to something we talked about on episode 7.
Was it 7? Yeah, I think it was 7.
I think it was the birthing. We were talking about birthing.
That pressure.
That pressure, yeah, yeah.
That
was
pressure.
7, yeah.
Okay, so he says while he was listening to it, he had a thought, and he was wondering if peace could be like a spiritual epidural that we can take whenever we're going through this like birthing experience that we were talking about, has the pressure and the pain and what that all consisted of. And so he was saying, like, what do we think about that? Like peace as an epidural.
Side note, epidural, for people that don't know, because it's just a little thing that they give women when they don't want to feel the pain.
In labor and don't want to feel
it's very, because it's like in the spine and all that stuff too, so it's a very serious
you have
thing.
to go listen to episode 7 too, guys, because we really get into like
explanation
in depth
we get
the whole
in
birthing
depth.
experience.
I mean, we don't
Even
do
the
step by
ugly and
step, but
nasty
we talk about, we use it as an example to talk about pressure. So anyway, when we responded to him, we brought up John 16:33. And in that scripture, Jesus makes it clear that we might, we put in quotes, have peace in him if we choose to take that route in our souls. Okay, so that's like in our minds, in our thoughts, imaginations, our will.
All that.
Okay. And then, so as all epidurals, as we know, if you don't know, it's a choice. You don't have to have an epidural. You can do your birth naturally. And some people choose to go through that pain, right?
Yep.
So same way with peace. So in reality, to answer his question, we were saying you can choose to have this peace or not. You know, like it's up to you. You're going to go through the birthing experience regardless if you want to come out on the other side of that manifestation.
So it's coming.
You know, like whatever you're trying to get to, you got to go through that experience with the pressure. Again, listen to episode 7 to really get what we're talking about on that. Next one comes from Instagram.
That pressure.
This was a cool question. And she's from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio.
Ohio in the building.
Yeah. And so her question has to do with Kanye. All right.
hot
There's a lot
topic.
going on around Kanye right now.
Pablo.
She just really wanted to know what we thought about. Y'all listen. She wanted to know what we thought about Christians saying that what he was doing was wrong, and then the other half of people saying, you know, that we can't judge him and that his heart is on the right track. She also wants to know, like,
They be saying everything wrong. Good.
She also wants to know just like what we think about Christians participating in the services. And so let me make a point. She made a point that I like. She says she learned from a past podcast that God doesn't pick sides, that he is impartial. And so that kind of helped her on this perspective, but she wanted to know what we thought anyway. So what do you guys think?
Well, we could talk about it for a couple of minutes, but if you really want to hear in depth, we did it on the road, RedIn30 on the road, which will be, so you can go back an episode, RedIn30 on the road, not an episode, but just RedIn30 on the road. You can hear it, but I like what she said about he's not partial. God is not partial. I know people think God is on their side and everything. God is on his side.
Yeah.
You know, he's on what he set everything to do. For God so loved the world, that means the organism, the organization, the harmony that he set up, that's what he loves.
He loved that.
And so our job is to line up to that. So he don't really pick sides. And I guess, you know, we talk about it, he's not partial with who he uses.
Right.
Yeah.
Use anybody.
Don't get caught up in judging.
Yeah, you can't judge who he uses based on your interpretation of who's worthy.
Yeah, that person. Like, who are you to say if that person is worthy to do that or not?
Right. It's like almost like, you know, nobody likes racism.
Right.
Oh, well, most people say they don't like, right? Or people don't like classism or whatever it is, or sexism, right? Like, they don't like it, but that's the epitome of that whole concept. For you picking who gets to be where in your concept of your mind, that's the epitome of bad judgment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying judgment is wrong. I'm not saying you don't need to pay attention to I'm not going to put, you know, I'm not going to let somebody else know as a known thief to handle my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be that. So that's foolishness. But nevertheless, I can't pick. Yeah, everything has to be lined up. It says, bring every thought to the obedience of Christ. Everything has to be lined up there. So if he wants to use Kanye, he can use him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't know what God is saying to Kanye. We don't know.
And we also don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
All
we know is what the media tells us, what they want us to see.
We really don't have enough.
We don't have enough
information to really make a detailed or informed conclusion.
Yeah, because has he said anything other than
just doing it?
Doing it. He hasn't said anything like an interview outside of that?
Not that I know of. I haven't seen any. So, you know.
Was there one today, you know?
I saw an ad for something some fairgrounds or something like that. Some kind of, so back outside. That's
back outside.
Cool.
Hey.
Yeah, but you're gonna hear that on the road.
RedIn30 on the road.
On the road.
To hear the rest of that answer.
Yep.
they go all in with
we go all in.
all in.
Yeah.
Get everything, all the juice,
Everywhere
all the
else,
juice that you want.
But it's dope too. I guess it's a great segue to where we're
tonight.
going because once again, like I just said, we can't choose who God wants to use, who the Father wants to use, and I don't like to use that phrase, but we can't choose who gets used. And shoot, I didn't even choose a lot of this stuff that I'm doing. Like we didn't choose this. We didn't choose like
That's true.
From the jump, you didn't even choose to be here. Like it was somebody else's choice that decided to make you an actual person. You know what I'm saying? To birth you into the world, birthing that pressure. And so, so we're talking about Kanye. This episode is not about Kanye, but it does segue to involving everybody in the process.
Yeah.
And so I guess this episode we don't have a particular title for it.
Yeah.
But it's really like I like Involution. It's not even a word, but we're making a word.
Involution.
Yeah.
Involution,
Tell
like
them why that
revolution,
makes
but it's-
sense.
Let me write that down.
Let's start off with here. We'll start off with a word. We like to do etymology. Etymology is the study of words and where they come from, when they were first used. English is a very young language. It's one of the youngest languages. So because it's so, sometimes when you're reading the Bible, even though it's translated into English, there's some words that have a deeper history than the way that we have defined it. You know what I'm saying? So I like etymology. Like looking up the words, and what I do, I just go to Google and be like etymology of the word and pick it. It shows when it was first used in English and all those different things. And so our word today is
involve. And
involve.
Yes. And so it literally means roll into.
To roll into.
Yeah.
And then it says, what it says at the top? Envelop. To envelop and surround.
Make cloudy, obscure.
Yeah.
And then it breaks down involve as like volvere, and volvere means to roll. And then,
to roll into. So that's dope. I think that concept is dope when you think about it, because when you involve somebody, you actually bring them into the process.
Fold,
Right.
Shout out to Rachel. She's in the room right now. Shout out to Rachel. She was just making some beignets, I think it was. And you had to take the dough.
Yeah.
And she just making them from scratch, which is dope, right? Give a hand clap for that. All right.
from scratch.
And so, but I
Post podcast snack.
post snackage. I like that. So, but in the process of it, in order to get that, the process of rolling the dough and kneading it and putting the materials in there, there's one thing to put everything in, but then it's nothing if you don't roll it in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And mix it in and kind of knead it in, and that's involving. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool concept, ain't it? Like to and then you got to roll up in it and all that. So I go on with all that.
It brings everything together.
It brings it together.
Yeah.
And it just involving. It brings it all together, puts it all in place. It mixes it. What's involving is a mixture too.
Yeah.
We are terrible about that in church.
Yeah.
We're terrible about the mix.
That's true.
Right? I'm not talking about mixing stuff that you don't believe per se. You know what I'm saying? Mix stuff that don't line up with your core, but just mixing, man. Like, a lot of times it's something that doesn't look like we look, even though we haven't always looked like we look. You know what I'm saying? Then we have a tendency to put it in compartmentalize and put it in different places. When involving is really, really the point.
Yeah. And so I know before we were talking about how Jesus really involved people. And then if you read the Bible all the way through, you don't see a lot of that involvement with other leaders in the Old Testament.
No, a lot of our stuff that we read, our leaders in the Old Testament is like, you got the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Noah, and David, but it was leaders.
Right.
And rightfully so. Like I get it. I think it's these are the ones that we love the most. I mean, but it's a lot of leaders, and you really don't see a lot of other, and I'm going to use this word lightly, but a lot of other characters involved. And I'm not, some stories you do. Job, they talk about his friends and stuff like that, but then it's like, Noah, they talk about his sons, and you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you really don't see a lot of other people. You'll hear whoever the main person is in the story, the leader at the time, the prophet of God at the time, or whatever it is, and then you'll hear the people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only time you would hear about the people is when somebody mess something up. An individual will mess up, aching in the camp. They got you hear about them messing up, but you don't really hear them being involved, right, in the process of progress.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that the Gospels is one of the only places that you go to where you see like consistent involving.
Yeah.
Involution.
Consistent,
It's a new word.
Yeah.
Involution.
Yeah, consistent involution, where it's like even statements like be it to you according to
Your faith.
That statement.
Do you believe?
Do you believe? That's the epitome. Do you believe I can do this? Right? It's the epitome of involving others into the process.
Yeah.
And so now I made a list today, bro. Like, and I know anybody who's watching, they probably can add to this list. But I started writing it down because my mind kind of went there of how many different characters. Just RedIn30.
Yeah.
Right? RedIn30 is awesome. Like, if you just take time to stop 30-day reading of the Gospels, if you just stop and take time and read it over and over again, you'll see some things you've never seen.
All right.
Right.
Jesus is the epitome of involving you.
Yes.
He doesn't want to do it himself.
All right.
I know we sing these songs about come in and do this, come in and save day, you do this, you move mountains, you this and this and that. And all those things are cool, but it's incomplete. Because what's the point of it getting done for you if you don't know how to do it?
Exactly.
Right? What's the old adage? Give a man a fish,
He'll
Yeah.
eat for a day.
teach him how to fish.
He'll eat for a
Exactly.
lifetime.
You see what I'm saying? And the point, you actually, you're doing it for somebody is invalidated by not involving them in the process.
Right.
You're gonna lose it.
You're going to lose it, yeah.
You're gonna lose it.
It's going to be cool for the moment, but
Yeah.
it's not going to go on, and then that person ain't going to be able to teach somebody how to fish, and it's just going to stop and die.
Exactly.
Which is the point, right? Like
the point.
I saw a message you had the other day, and you had the guys lined up by arms, and it was like, yo, like I'm doing it so he can do it, and he's supposed to teach him how to do it, right? Like that's the whole point.
Yeah, yeah.
And as you said that, you like that's the whole point.
That's success. And we
Yep,
talk
that's
about
success.
succession, that's involvement,
Yeah, success, yeah.
involution. That's really what that is.
Right, right.
Because you can't have success without involving
Nope,
this
can't do it.
way.
Because it got to come next.
It got to come next. And then if you Solomon in Ecclesiastes, if you ever go read it, Solomon was supposed to be the wisest man before Jesus, right? And in Proverbs, he had all these different punch phrases, and we read Proverbs, the 31 days and everything, and like there was so much wisdom in there. But in the next chapter, he begins to talk and says everything is vanity and vexation.
Yeah.
He said one generation gonna come and another one. And vanity and vexation is not saying it's like everything is in vain. Like it doesn't matter. It don't matter what we do because the next generation. That wasn't true, but he was tripping all of the way he was thinking.
Yeah.
But that's what it becomes.
Yeah.
If it's just about you and your generation, how you live right now, and the things that you want to get done, and or your business, or your career, or your family, or your organization,
Come on.
whatever you want to say, if it's just about that and it's not involving, I want to say
Yeah, it's just you and your foe.
Go ahead and say it. We'll send this to Merriam West.
Yeah. I want my props too.
Yeah.
First coined by no, but if you don't involve,
etymology.
right, and put it all into that. First used in
Listen.
2019. The RedIn30 podcast. Fresh. Now, but involve. If you don't involve, then you lose your purpose. The whole point was that.
Yeah.
The whole point was connection and involving, and this is how progress is made.
You know, one thing I learned about purpose, it's like your purpose is a resource. And I said this one time a long time ago.
Hold on. Say that again. Come on.
Your
hit
purpose
something.
is
I
a
don't know where we going.
resource.
All that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, no,
Your
because
purpose is a resource? That's
which
dope.
means you're a source over and over and over again. Because I started to think about people who have like their own businesses, or they have like a really good skill
Resource.
or talent.
I thought you saw you throw that in there just now. Resource
Yeah.
and over and go to source again. I saw you
Okay.
get that.
Hey.
You see, huh?
Why are y'all
You
blowing
are
this up?
on your game
You look at what I'm
tonight,
saying.
girl.
You
Come
see that?
on.
You see
Oh my
that?
God. Anyway, I think some people try to, it's like you and your four, they do that with their talents, their gifts, or whatever. You know what I'm
my
saying?
four
And
no more.
it doesn't grow to a purpose until you become a resource.
Yeah.
And so you okay with like
Girl, I
being
like
for
that.
people to keep coming back to you, and you don't think you got to put a price tag on everything
Right.
because this is what you do. Like this is who you are now.
Right.
And that, I mean, to me now, when you understand involvement, and so if you understand the way Jesus tried to involve us, that's how we're trying to involve other people.
Yeah. Or we should be.
We should be. Like, you
should
should
be.
take on that characteristic.
Because it's never just about you.
It's
Yeah, and that's
it's
living
never
in your
just
purpose.
about you.
Never.
Y'all remember the movie? What the movie was? Come on, man.
You got to give me more.
Will Smith.
Oh, he said, "Well, come on, man."
Remember that movie?
Will
Come on,
Smith.
man.
He just him and the dog.
Will Smith.
Oh, I Am Legend.
I Am
yes.
Legend, right?
I was
like
about to say something about robots.
He was almost losing his stuff because he was there. He was talking to the mannequins, all kind of stuff, because he felt the need to have
Yeah.
a conversation. He was almost losing his grip on reality, and in the movie because there were no other people around. Can you imagine that? like there's nobody else to involve in the process. Do you know how many people are involved in your life, even if you just live by yourself?
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
watch how, like, even if you just say, I'm going to be a hermit, right? And I don't want to do anything. Hey, you're stupid, right? Right, the hermit, right? Nobody knows.
Nobody even knows
He used to
this.
be a hermit.
Okay,
He's not a
all
hermit
right.
anymore. He be hermitish.
Yeah.
Testimony at the end of the
Testimony at the end of the. But he own you right quick.
Those
But he own you. I know.
Hey, stop interrupting him when he's trying to talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But there's so many people involved in your process that you don't even know, that you don't see on a daily basis.
Right.
I mean, even from the appliances that you use to the electricity being on, there's people that are, man, ain't nobody sitting there riding a bike for your electricity to be on,
Right.
but there's people that have control over those things. Even when you ride on the road, there's other people that are involved in your situation consistently. The problem is that we don't submit to the involution. We don't submit to the involvement, and we don't really realize how connected we really are.
Yeah.
You know, I like your purpose is a resource. It's a resource. It's the source again. I think it always goes back to this resounding theme to me that what you've always wanted, right? What you always want, like everybody wants more, but you're not a resource.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna be constipated.
Yep.
Like it's really gonna clog you up because you're not resourcing what you're doing. But what you want is more. But in order for you to get more, you got to give more.
You got to get more, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be in that process, man. Like that's the
Right.
thing. And you know, society can kind of push us both ways. It can push you towards a lot of stuff with a lot of people, or it
Yeah.
can push you always in one ditch or the other. Or it can push you to, you know, you got to be individual, be independent. You don't need nobody. That's a lie. That's literally impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible.
You can't do that.
Right.
Not in this lifetime. Like,
You can't do it. There's no way. You can't. No way to get off the grid.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so involving people is rolling people into the plan,
Yeah.
enveloping everybody, surrounding everybody. You know, one of the number one things that, you know, in church we like to go. I mean, we try to keep it black and white, even though it's so many more colors. But we go sin, not sin, heathen, holy, saint, sinner, right? And then we begin to separate things by what we think there are, right? But wouldn't if the idea, we just talk about it, of somebody being a sinner, right, or somebody being a heathen or whatever, if that was the case, and the idea was you needed to help them, right? What better way to do it than to involve them?
Yeah.
Right.
Because involve means to envelop.
Envelop, yeah.
Yeah.
To surround. Like, what better way than to surround them? We were laughing about it the other night. It's funny how we have this concept of if I'm just using these church terms so y'all can see my quotes, right? If I'm the anointing, and then let me switch it. If you're the anointing, because I don't ever want to call nobody else. I mean, you're the anointing, and I'm sin or treachery or whatever it is. Why is it that the anointing always say, "Get back from me"? Because I don't want your sin to get on me, as opposed to the fact that what if we get close and then what the anointing, you know, or whatever we want to call it,
Yeah,
a goodness, or
right.
holiness, or whatever we want to call it.
Right.
We never think that concept. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's what it should be.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Embrace, involve and embrace.
That made me think about when Jesus healed the man who had leprosy.
Yeah, the lepers. Yeah. It was 10 of them.
I didn't want to say that wrong.
Yeah.
There was a man who met him down a hill or something, and this specifically,
I read that.
I was
I gotta read
listening to Judah Smith.
Uh-huh.
He told
Shout
the
out to
story. He told the story, and I love how he said it because you're not supposed to touch anybody who had leprosy,
Right.
Right, why?
Because it infected you, and then like you
It's
couldn't be
contagious.
around people.
Outcast.
Yeah,
They
but
weren't even in the city.
right.
They made them go live out. It's crazy. We got a leprosy, quote unquote, leprosy colony here, like not too long ago,
Really?
in St. Gabriel. It's not that anymore, but it's a boot camp now, but it was a leprosy colony. This years before all of us.
I about to say they still got the leprosy like in the area. Like,
Nah, but if you
on
in
trees and-
your
wait,
if you in like your 60s or your 70s, like 50, like whatever,
Yeah.
they remember it. And it was like a little
Wow.
colony that they would send people that had, and leprosy is not even a real big thing right now. There's so much medicine and stuff.
yeah.
But I guess it was the people that couldn't.
Well, I need to go Google leprosy after this and see some people that had got leprosy or
Yeah.
had leprosy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But anyway, when he said he touched them, like he just paused at that moment because everybody keeps reading on.
Right.
But the fact that he touched him, it made like the biggest difference because you're not supposed to touch him. Like you're talking about with the anointing and stuff. Like until
'Cause
you,
it's gonna get on you.
Yeah.
It's gonna
And
get
people
on
are
you,
scared of that
and,
for
you,
real.
and you're gonna become a leper.
Instead of you thinking you affecting
Now we
it.
gotta send Jesus out there.
right.
He can't come back in this city and preach no more.
No.
I bet. Oh, you know what? RedIn30. Imagination. You ready? I bet they had some people that wish he caught leprosy.
Wow.
I bet they had some people that probably wish that he caught leprosy so they could put him out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or they can tell him, oh, he about to, yeah, come on, let him go heal him. I bet he can't heal leprosy.
Yeah.
And was waiting for him to catch something or get sick. Ain't that something? That's RedIn30, bro.
That's
Like that's
RedIn30.
Yeah.
imagination, man. I bet there were some people that thought like that.
Yeah.
You know, but him touching him is a big deal.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Publicly, yeah.
I mean, even dealing with him.
Yeah.
So now you got that guy, and then you got the 10 lepers coming running to him.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to be out there where they are.
Yeah.
Out there where they
He's got to be out there where they are, because if they come in the city, they kill him.
Yeah, he'll kill him. Yeah.
So I got to be outside the city's walls.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
And I have to go out. I have the. All right, you ready? The way in is out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that, you see what I'm saying? I have to go out to involve. You know what I'm saying? The expansion of the kingdom is supposed to be moving out anyway.
Right.
To envelop or surround more people.
That's what expansion.
That's what expansion is. That's what it's supposed to be. Right.
It's not supposed to be contracted or restricted to this one thing. It's supposed to expand and
They're supposed to expand and
grow.
get around everything.
Yeah.
And I, that concept is a much needed one in society. Now I don't think this is a church thing. We're talking because RedIn30 is gospel, but I don't. This is much greater than a church or religious thing.
Yeah.
This is a systemic problem for humankind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not speaking to say, well, everything has to be accepted.
Right.
Or everything has to be involved, right? Because even, my little nephews had strep a couple weeks ago. We need to isolate them, though, guys. You know what I'm saying? Just for that particular time. You got to isolate you until, because otherwise we're about to have an epidemic of strep. And what's good is everybody having strep. Strep is not a good thing.
Right.
I don't know if you ever had strep before.
Oh, yeah.
But strep is not a good thing. And so, the first 24 hours is contagious, right? So we need to go ahead and bubble boy. Like we need to go ahead and put you in the room for right now until this time is past. So I'm not saying that those things are wrong. It's the wrong way to handle things. But we have to not be against involving people to get them lined up the proper way.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Get us lined up the proper way. I'm
I got
appreciative to
you.
be involved in the process. Me being involved in a purpose or in a process of God doing what He's doing gives me identity.
Yeah.
Right.
My involvement is my identity.
Yeah. Can I go on like a little tangent real
Go,
quick, like
go,
a little
Yeah.
story
go.
to talk, since we talk about involvement or whatever, and because when I came home from school, like, I ain't know what the hell I was about to do.
Yeah, right.
I was just I was just out here. I ain't had no job. I was just
He ain't got no job. He ain't got.
But I remember, like, you involved me in what y'all was doing.
Yeah.
And you was going to schools and stuff.
Yep.
But before that, I was just sitting at home or whatever. But
Right.
the fact that you involved me, and so then that's when I started, getting into photography, and then started,
Graphic
learning more
design, all
about
that
ministry
stuff.
and graphic design.
Yeah.
So it all like built me and moved me towards that. But if I had never been involved in that,
Right.
like, I don't know where I would be right now.
Right, and who knew that this is what you needed right now?
Right.
Right. That's crazy, and that's God involved, and that's what we should do.
Right.
Involve in the process. And I'm gonna tell you, I'll be like, yeah, man, I knew God wanted to use you, so I involved you in the process. That's what we do.
Because God spoke to me
Nah,
and He
that's
said,
bull.
you need to go and tell Jeremiah that he needs to come with you.
No, he need to come with you because there's a greater plan in the
Oh, my
future.
God.
For I know the thoughts that
Quit.
Jeremiah 29. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you. No,
That's
no,
your scripture.
it was, bro. When I say it was solely in it,
33:9.
it wasn't
Right,
none.
right.
It wasn't none of that. It was just, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it should even be that meditated or that premeditated or that charted out or thought. I think we chart out and thought out too much stuff right now. I think it should just be a natural part of who you are.
Yep.
Should be.
So I used to hate, man, when we were younger, man, and we were doing youth ministry or whatever. Sometimes in churches, but not just churches, and schools and colleges and businesses, it's very cliquish. Things can be cliquish. And you in crowd or you out crowd.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can be with us, but y'all can't be with us. And nobody never really says it out like, you can't be with us. Like on the movies and stuff like that. But it's like, it's a vibe, right? It's a vibe. Or we will just selectively not tell you about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was very cliquish like that in the youth group that I was in, the younger, and I hated it. Like I literally, right now I get fired up about it. I hated it because, and I wasn't even thinking mission. It wasn't even about mission. If we could put the youth group aside, we can put all the businesses, the groups and the fraternities, sororities, all that stuff aside. Just as a person, it bothered me that we would not tell you. Now I understood in certain situations, right? And I'm not saying I've never left anybody out of something. You know what I'm saying? But it bothered me for it to be systemic like that. Like it to be a regular process of, well, we're not telling them. And I felt like there is no way. So what if somebody comes with liquor on their breath? Right? At least they here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like you want them here, don't you?
You know what
Where
I'm
else are they gonna
saying? And I mean, they got to get in line when they get here because every establishment and every business has an order that you can't walk into the grocery store, in your drawers. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do it. They got
like
rules
there's
for it.
order, but then when your character is like that, it doesn't take over the order. You know what I'm saying? You're not about to let the order take over what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your character is going to run the show.
And then some people have never even seen what order looks like. We come from different back.
And we count these people out.
Ooh,
We
y'all about to
count
make me
these
say
people
something.
out.
Yeah, we count people out.
It's not right.
Jesus involving
Come
people,
on,
right?
say it.
All right.
Say it.
Jesus was more about evolving than following instructions. Let me show you something. So I looked up in my
Wait for
King
these.
James, right? In the Gospels. And I looked up, y'all ready for this? I was about to text y'all, but I said, well, I didn't even think about this for the night, and I said I wasn't going to say nothing, but now I am.
Okay.
Say it.
Right?
Spit that
Say it.
hotness.
Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Y'all sure y'all ready? Because once we get here, we can't
I'm
go back.
so ready.
You ready?
Dylan.
Jesus never said the word obey.
Ooh. I see some people searching for it. In their
Jesus
phones, on their laptops.
never said obey.
Ooh.
Come on.
Oh, no. He said obey one time.
Okay.
And it was talking about the sycamore tree gonna obey you.
Oh.
It never obedient is not in the Gospels. The word obedient.
Ooh. And then we got so many examples
So
of him
obey,
like
obedience. None of that's in the gospel.
Let me go look at.
Oh, yeah, check the other versions of it. We're gonna get some emails like I
saw
found
it. It was in Mark
obedience.
95, verse 3.
Check it out.
Obedience, no results.
Obedience, obey. Is there another way they spelled
Obedience,
it
no
back
results.
then?
And I'm not. Hold on.
Well, yeah.
This is not a. You
Right.
ain't got to do what you told her to do thing. All right.
Right.
But it's bigger. It's bigger than obedience. You know the statement: obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But involvement is better than obedience. Oneness is better than it all.
Can we talk
But
about?
I can't be one with you till I roll you in.
Right.
Yes.
Till I envelop you. If I we right now we leave and get in the car together, right? The car has enveloped both of us, and we are in the car. We're not riding in cars. But we never say we're in the car. It might be two people in the
Car.
but the car has enveloped both of us. So now whatever happens to this car happens to us. Wherever this car goes is where we go.
Yep.
We have become one inside
Yeah.
the car. Involved. Inside.
Oh, yeah.
Inside, involved,
Yep.
intern.
I like that.
Oh my God. Can we talk about the cornfield? I mean, there's so many examples
There's so many examples of him
Jesus
evolving.
going against the grain.
Going against the grain, literally
The
in the
rules,
cornfield.
right?
I was like, okay.
Oh, wait.
Okay, come on now. Okay,
I
you
didn't
better
mean to
do
do
it.
that.
That's pretty
Yeah,
corny.
Oh,
The grain
that
is
was
corny.
cute.
Like your shirt.
That was cute.
Oh my God.
Wait, my shirt's corny, but your lip on your little
So we
gold
gonna do that?
is
We
not.
gonna do that?
Oh, come on, roast
I
that
mean,
shit.
this is on
We
YouTube.
gonna do that? Okay. All right.
Come on.
All right. I was taking
Come
a little
on.
mile. All right.
What?
I'll turn it up a little bit then. Okay. All right.
Don't turn it
Keep
up.
going.
We don't have
We in the
time.
cornfield
We
going
don't have
against the
time.
grain.
We don't have time.
Come on.
Come on.
Cornfield.
Which was not done on
Come on,
purpose.
game like a mug.
Come on.
Oh my God. Okay, so
The cornfield.
Come on. Come
Going
on.
against
the
the grain.
cornfield. They
Going
weren't
against the grain.
supposed to be eating, and then this is somebody else's cornfield.
Right, it's somebody else's cornfield. Right.
They're not supposed to be eating. It's the Sabbath
Yeah, Sabbath. They're not supposed to do no
and
work.
no work,
Right.
and definitely not picking corn out
Right.
out in the field. Okay, so anyway, he's walking through with his homeboys, aka disciples,
Him and his little friend.
and his little
Little
friends and their
friends.
little slippers. And so
They little slippers. They little Jesus.
he's
slippers.
hungry, so he just
Well, they feet out.
starts picking corn and eating. He's
Right.
eating, he's giving it to his friends. And so they have a problem with it. Y'all, he's breaking the rules deliberately.
Right.
Because he's hungry. And then when they have something to say about it, he like, wait, y'all don't even know y'all Bible.
Right.
He start bringing up Old Testament stuff. Like, y'all don't know from
Right.
back in, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You can do this too. Right.
Right.
Everybody eat out the cornfield.
Everybody, and then like, he go, not only was he eating out there, he giving it to his friend.
Hey,
Right.
Hey, come get some of this corn.
That's involvement.
It's involvement. Hey, can you imagine that, bro? Like,
Bruh.
like if you doing something like, oh, y'all come get some of this. It's one thing for you
It's
to do
already
it.
wrong.
I bet
supposedly.
half of the disciples see RedIn30. I bet some of them got like super deep on like, I'm not going to eat that corn on the Sabbath. I bet
Probably.
they had some of them that was still there because that was the culture.
Yeah.
I bet they still had some of them that had some of that in them, so what they
Some of that
couldn't
what?
really that tradition.
Uh-huh.
That,
Okay. The words you want to hear.
I'm using this word because of how we think of it now, religion. But I know what religion really means, which is really not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's hold you in place. But that's another conversation. I think we might have said it on another one. But that all that tradition and whatever on the inside of them that they couldn't see the new fresh thing
Yeah.
that we're doing, which is really not a new fresh thing, but it's actually the original thing that was fresh from the beginning.
Right. And obedience to what you think is obedient might not have
Right.
anything to do with it.
Right.
I've seen some people be obedient to some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And it mess
Right.
things up better than help something.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so like now involvement is better than obedience. All right, so what have we been doing? We know what's right. You're wrong. Listen to me.
Yes.
No, instead of me saying, "Hey, come here, come here, do this. Bring it here. Bring it here. Come here, and let me show you." Right? Showing you is better than telling you.
Yeah.
Right? Involving you in the process. Some of my best lessons that I've learned and some of the best lessons that I've taught others was actually giving somebody. Shout out to Swag right now. Like, me and Swag, we together, we work in ministry together. But the things that he's doing right now, once again, I'm not the source of it, but the things he's doing right now, it was way back. I'm in the studio working. I'm in there just doing my thing. He starts coming around. Actually, first he started saying you want to come around. Like, nah, I had enough little dudes come around. Yeah, I'm like, nah, just go ahead. And I'll let you know. You know, we do this. So like, I'm gonna let you know. I'll hit you up.
Yeah, I'll let you know when
This is lying.
I hit you up.
But he kept
Never gonna hit you up.
never gonna hit you up. You're never
They
gonna
got some
get hit
people
up.
still waiting to get hit up to the studio.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
And they gonna keep waiting.
And they gonna keep waiting.
OMG.
Straight like that. They know who they are. They listen.
They straight like that. Bet that then. And so, but he ended up coming. He kind of came through, and then, you know, he was working with stuff with me, but he had no background in it. But I just was like, here, sit down, press this button, and it took me a little time to do it because I had to slow down because I was already in the rhythm. But his wanting to be involved and my willing to involve.
Wow.
Two coins. Two sides.
Coins, two sides of the coins, connection.
Yep.
His wanting to involve and my willing to involve sped the process up a little further than what it could have. So most time people are there under duress.
Yeah.
A lot of different things. People at school because of duress, people at church because of duress, because that's the thing they got to do or they're going to be a failure, right?
Yeah.
And so they're under duress and they're not really willing to be there. Then even if you are willing to be there, some people are not willing for you to be there.
Yeah.
To be involved. But because that, I put him on, I gave him this, I put him on, he started doing the engineering and stuff, and he was picking up on it. Then one day I said, hey, click this. He's doing some, I was actually working on some Final Cut, you know what I'm saying, and making some videos, and I said, hey, we'll do this. And I really was doing it out of necessity because I needed him to do it at the same time, and I was doing something else. But involving him taught him more than what I taught him the basics. Like command, this, cut this, you know what I'm saying, to put a little sound on there.
Yeah.
I thought I was killing it, but it had so much other stuff. And over the years, not even years, it didn't take long.
Right.
Right.
Over months, he took my involving. He involved himself in what I involved him in. And before you knew it, he's teaching me things.
Oh, and he's professional. He's a professional now.
It's amazing.
He does it professionally now.
No stroke, but it's like it's top
Wow.
of mind, right?
No stroke,
Yeah.
all stroke.
No stroke, all stroke. You heard me? And it's like, Paul, so if, you know what I'm saying, now he's able to teach you stuff. He just showed me things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that
Stuff
guy.
that I've never, and he began to involve himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he involved, and so he began to evolve.
Yep.
Yep.
That's great.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
great.
Yep.
You know, and so I think involvement is the beginning to evolvement. You can't evolve until you've been involved in the process. You know what I'm saying? And so
Just like them beignets.
just like them beignets, right?
They can't evolve.
They can't evolve
Till you involve.
until you involve. Until she involved.
She had to
right.
involve everything.
She had to involve everything, put everything in the mix, and then once you do that, right now at this particular moment, the dough is rising.
It's evolving.
It's rising. Look. She involved, and the dough is rising on its own.
Yep.
Wow. That's that story you just told about Swag.
Yep. It rise on its own.
Rise on its own.
The thing that we want out of ourselves and out of others, it's already in them.
Yeah.
But we're not watering the fields. We're not involving them in the process. So we tell you what to do instead of showing you who and involving you into your identity.
Yeah.
Y'all get what I'm saying? And that's it's so simple.
Yeah.
And all the pieces of that. I showed somebody something today. It's so simple. Let me see it. Is the pen got a top on it?
It's a clicker.
Okay, well, I can't use that. But like, it's so simple. I can use this. It's so simple, right? And all the pieces of there's a top and the bottle and the water inside, right? But I can't
Yeah, you getting that.
I can't close this up right there. And if I sit here and be like, oh, it's closed and start walking off, we're gonna spill everywhere. Because I have to put it in but it's just that simple as moving it from here to here. So the concepts, everything we have, all the people, it's there, but we just don't have them in the right places.
places.
Yeah.
You see does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your key is great, but if your
So-
key is backwards, it will never, you know what I'm saying? It won't go in, it can never unlock nothing. What you about to say?
I was saying, so how many people we have just wandering because they haven't been
involved.
put in
Haven't been
position
involved,
because
yeah.
they haven't been involved? Man, that's everybody got to play their part.
A lot,
Like, what are
yeah.
we doing?
Right. I think now to its credit, I think that there's one thing that the organized church has been trying to do. I think, we call it ministry of helps and volunteering.
Yeah.
I think the concept overall was meant for involvement. But then sometimes, but over the years, it evolved into a control thing or
it gets
involved
scattered.
into a scattered idea or involved into now it was holiness. When in actuality, you already are holy. You just don't know it. But I got to involve you in that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah,
Jesus was the king of involvement.
Yeah. Because you was talking about, and it made me think about the story when he multiplied the bread and the fish.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, give me what you got.
Right.
And then he
Come
involved
on.
everybody else
He
in the
involved everybody.
process.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
passing it
God.
out. The passing it out, because he didn't pass them out.
Right.
I like to say stuff like, who really fed the 5,000?
Yeah.
Right? And people don't like that. And they be like, well, Jesus fed them. Well, no. Jesus got the credit for it, and he was a part of the process. But there's no passing out without the disciples.
Right.
They said he broke it and multiplied it, but they had to give it. He said, y'all come in, y'all give it to him. Let me go a little further. Before that, he involved the disciples in the planning process.
Yeah.
Remember he said he asked him, how we going to feed all these people? But he already knew what he was going to do, right?
Yeah.
But I love that concept that even my conversation was involving you.
Yeah.
Because at any minute, it's like one of them could have said, well, Lord, if, it could have come up with an idea. It could have been another idea. I believe if somebody would have said, Lord, can you call bread from heaven? It might have happened if somebody would have believed. Like the centurion, we talked about that the other time.
Yeah.
Like I believe that you can have an idea that's bigger than what's already been done.
And so he giving you a chance to have that
he'll be like,
idea.
Yeah,
cool.
he gave him a chance to have that.
Yeah.
And of course, y'all know they were like, well, 200 pennyworth is not enough. And at least they tried to say something.
Right.
And they said, but what are they among so many? You know what I'm saying? If they'd have brought the 200 pennies, pennyworth, I think he could have multiplied the money.
Yeah.
Like however it is that you thought it was going, he could have done something
Worked
different.
with
You know
it.
what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get you to catch the vibe.
Yeah.
The frequency.
Catch the line, because I already knew what I was going to do.
Yes.
So I need you to catch. I'm asking you. I'm involved. Questions, conversation is actually involving you.
Yeah.
It's what. Shout out to Swag because he was telling us something too about getting the people involved more in the RedIn30.
Yeah.
And reading some of the things and like getting them involved because that's what it's about.
Right.
Because if we don't involve them, then we're just another teacher, or another
Yes.
message, or another whatever that's just kind of giving out the information.
Projected voice.
You know what I'm saying? Even though it's information.
Yeah. It's not involution.
Yeah, right. You get what I'm saying? And we don't
That's
involve
good.
so and the best way that we can involve them is that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not just to sit there and listen to us, but to be a part of the process.
Yep.
Yeah.
That don't mean we're gonna say everything they want to say.
Right.
But we still involve them in the process.
Right.
Jesus is the king of that.
Yep.
He He did it so much.
He was
bro.
king because of all the other reasons that people don't like. Everybody want to do all the rah rah rah,
Right,
but he was
right.
king because of so many other things that people give him credit for,
Yeah.
bro. You know what I'm saying? Just
He
involving
won't, he
people.
won't gloss over that stuff.
They gloss over it. Why? Why do we gloss over that? Because if we gloss over it, I don't have to own up to it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If watch this. If we conclude in this podcast right now, this episode.
Yeah.
All right, watch this. If we conclude that Jesus was the ultimate involver, he literally involved everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on with it. Come on with it.
Can we say that?
Come on with it. Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Do you agree with
I
that?
agree
Hey,
with
everybody
that.
in this room, y'all agree with that? Y'all, I can't hear y'all. Y'all agree with that? Yeah. Okay. So if we agree with that, whether we can together understand that that's so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can't get away from that.
Nope.
When you hear this, you got to own that.
You got to own it.
You have to own it.
And you have to
You have to own it.
own it. Okay.
Shout out to our king. That was perfect
Okay,
time, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to our king,
But
man.
yeah, but that
Shout
means
out.
now
Yes,
you're
a lot
responsible
of
for being
shout
the
outs.
same.
You're responsible for what?
Being the same.
Being the same. You are responsible. I like that. You are responsible for being. Come on, man, get yourself something.
Come on, come.
You are responsible
For being
for
the same.
being the same.
Yep.
So now that you know, he said, "He who don't know, he gonna get beat with stripes." So the beating coming, right? That's so funny. That's so funny. He said this. You gonna get beat up.
Yo,
Even if you don't
ignorant
know,
behind,
you gonna
gonna
get
still get
slapped,
beat
right?
up, man.
Right. But he that knows better and still don't do, they're gonna get more lash than the one
Yeah.
that didn't know. That's crazy, right?
It
Yeah.
is.
Because
But it makes sense.
you're responsible.
Yep.
Yep. Say it again. How you said it?
You're responsible for being the same.
You're responsible
Being
for
the same.
being the same. And that's why people, I think, look, there's a lot, I was talking today, and RedIn30 is really going to revolutionize some things. Not the brand and not at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I say
Yeah.
RedIn30, I'm not talking about the brand. This is just a way to label something so that we can all know which direction we're going in. I'm not talking about this or the Instagram or the website. I'm talking about that RedIn30 is really a thing. Like, it's really becoming red in 30 days.
Yeah, being that.
Being the red words in 30 days.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And it's really gonna start something because there's some real ticky things that Jesus says that we kind of glaze over, like you said, and kind of gloss over, and then we don't own up to it. And I think we don't stop there. Well, a lot of people don't stop there because they don't know it's there. Because we don't read the gospel.
Right.
Number one.
Right, right.
But then two, a lot of people gloss over because when they see it, they don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to handle this because, and Jesus says it point blank. He didn't say, and what I mean is, no, it's like,
Yeah.
Point blank.
point
period.
blank, that's a wrap. And you got to own
Period.
it. You're responsible to be the same.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, and when people hear this, they're going to understand it's going to really RedIn30. Now, if you're not ready for change, you know, if your whole concept of things, then don't do this.
Right.
Right.
This is what you do. If you like what you're doing, stay there.
If you like
Red
being
pill, blue
regular,
pill. Yeah, you like being regular. Don't.
Because you got to come in, lay everything down.
Yeah, you got to put it all
Pretend
down.
you don't know nothing.
Right. Because he's the ultimate involver. Like,
Yes.
He involved people.
Because if the word is a mirror, and Jesus is the word, and Jesus
Jesus
is
is a mirror.
So if he's an involver,
You
you involved.
must be an involver.
Right. That's
must
it.
be.
Must be. You got to be. There's no other way around. it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, stop lying to yourself.
Stop lying.
And it's funny.
You're not for real. Like, you don't. I love you, Lord. No, you don't.
you
I love you, Jesus. No, you
Shut
don't.
up.
It's
Shut up.
funny how we
You
want
don't.
stuff from him, but we don't want to be like him all the way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, we want it all, but don't want to be none of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ultimate involver. The story after story.
How can we do the least?
You
want
want to do your list?
He did them. Yeah, right. I ain't talking about the least. Did you watch it? No, I'm trying to play. I ain't talking about the least.
Oh.
I could do the least, and he did the most. That was so hilarious, man.
I can't laugh
But
at this.
not trying to play him, but it was just,
yeah,
the crowd,
the
like
people, yeah.
crowd. You know, people will troll you, bro. Jesus knew it. He walked in, he went in, he went there. They was all right around and some miracles. He went in there and he said he closed the door upon them. He said because he knew what was in man's heart. He was like, I know these. Go on.
You know, I love that scripture because he said he didn't trust men.
He didn't trust him. He didn't trust him. He'll involve him, but I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Don't buy the hype.
And that's possible.
Exactly.
It's impossible to have a full consciousness of involving people without trusting them.
Yeah, because you know what's in them. You can believe in what's in somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, so can we say this? All right, watch this. So can we say that his involving? Because when I hear this, I think, cause like, how can you involve somebody if you don't trust them, right? But trust, the root word of trust is truth.
True.
Right? Or true, right? And so involvement and truth together. Now, if we watch it, if we look at the different instances of involvement, there was always not just come and do this, but there was always truth involved at the same time.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? And so if you see the process of it all, and maybe not even in word, but more so in action. And I think that's really involvement. There's a lot of people getting people to do a lot of stuff. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not activities.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? It's not necessarily that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what we're saying. What I'm saying is
Get involved.
yeah, right. Get involved. Involve yourself, right? And it's not really that.
I'm glad y'all brought that up.
No, because y'all know. I mean, we have nonprofits, we have churches, we have charitable organizations, we have these different programs. They say get involved, volunteer. No. He's not looking for a volunteer. I need you to die.
Yeah.
Did you volunteer for death?
Right.
Did you volunteer to give your life?
I
Did
volunteer.
you
No, you
volunteer
volunteer
for
to
that
give your
cross
hours.
The
bearing?
Hunger Games.
Right. Every right. Every volunteer thing is dependent on hours in our life.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Hold on, say it
volunteer.
again?
Most volunteer things. I say every, but most volunteer things is dependent upon hours. Like when I'm volunteering, I'm a volunteer. 4
many
hours
hours,
this week,
yeah.
or this many hours this week. No, I want it all.
Yeah.
If you don't give it all, you don't really believe in it.
Right.
True about anything.
Anything, yeah.
And so, just involving, man. I think it's beautiful that the process of involving, rolling everybody into the process.
Yeah.
Involving allows them to see their identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back to swag, like some of the things that he's doing now, and he's loving to do now. He didn't even know that was in him. We've had conversations, but he didn't know that was in him until he actually got in the water.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I didn't know this was in me, but this is it.
Because he was a monster at what he was doing before that.
Right.
But like he had something much greater and deeper in him.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
And he knew.
Yeah.
And I know for me, singing was like that. I was, 11, 12 years old, and they threw me up on stage talking about singing, and I had to sing this old high-pitched song, bro. And I quit that first night. I quit. I was like, I'm out. This is too high. My throat hurts. I'm, puberty's hitting. My voice is changing.
It's a no for me, dog.
I quit. Yeah. And then they were like, so I quit. Can you imagine like a little 11, 12-year-old like, nah, I'm not doing it. I quit. Walk off stage. Yeah, right. Me neither, because then my mom was like,
They won't be
you're
on
going
that
back up there.
Yeah.
You're going back up there. And I'm crying, singing that, I know what I mean, I promise I will keep. It's that high. To me. And I was singing natural voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you had a
bro.
little kid voice too at the time.
It was like that little thing, man.
Yeah, you probably right into puberty right then too, so it was
Yeah,
kinda
that
like,
time, things was changing,
Yeah.
man. It was like, everything was,
Oh my God.
your voice deep, but it's not deep. So
Michael
it's like,
Jackson's.
yeah, right.
Oh my goodness. Michael Jackson.
It's exactly that, right? But
Well, that's the voice of all the
then
kids. To say we go Michael
involving,
Jackson.
right? Involving or throwing me in the process made me realize, and I started picking, and I was like, "Whoa, hold up, this is something." And then through the rolling, I kept it rolling, and the process, I'm involved in the choir and everything like that, and it's like, "Oh, yo, this is it." And then the love began to grow.
Yeah.
The love that was already there began to grow because I was involved. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs everybody because you never involve yourself,
Ooh.
right? You can try to involve yourself, but you always need somebody to
Push.
Yeah.
involve you in,
Involve you in,
to,
yeah.
to
Or
roll
include
you
you
in.
in.
That door ain't gonna roll itself.
Right.
You have somebody on your list, Zacchaeus?
Yep. What can did I read my list?
You didn't, but I want you to.
Well, these are all because we were talking about back to the beginning. We were talking about how other parts of the Bible you didn't see many characters. I didn't see it specifically.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote down, so I started thinking. I was like, "Yo, like the Gospels and Jesus really was specific about showing how many other people were involved." And then I started reading this, like the 10 lepers, the woman with and 10 lepers, then the other leper, right?
Yeah.
Then the woman with the issue of blood, the woman at the well, the man at the pool, the woman caught in adultery, right? The man going down through the roof, his friends let him down through the roof, like Zacchaeus, Centurion, John the Baptist, 12 disciples, which is 12 different people, Mary, Martha, Lazarus, the blind man with the spit, the blind man without the spit, the boy with the demons in the cave, Mary, Joseph, the lad with the lunches. They had a dumb boy, the boy that couldn't speak, the wise men, Herod, the men on the cross next to him. Like I got the list, and the list probably can go on with so many more people, right? That are just highlighted in the story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Highlighted in the process of, and I think it was intentional by Jesus, although Jesus didn't write the Gospels, it was intentional for him to let it be written of him that way, that involved so many people. Because, you ready for this?
I'm listening.
The ultimate will of the Father, which he's planned from the beginning, cannot be done without involving everybody.
Yeah.
Our Father.
Now everybody's got to choose to be involved. You know what I'm saying? And there are. I mean, like, he's not going to change how he's doing things or how he set things up just to involve you. But if you choose to be involved and line yourself up, that's the will of the Father. You about to say something about Zacchaeus?
Zacchaeus, because when we were talking about trusting people and then truth in people and like that whole, like, how do you involve somebody you don't trust? I thought about him.
Right.
You know, what do y'all think about that? You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't a trustworthy person. And so for Jesus to involve him by showing up to, you know, going to his house. Yeah.
It's like that conversation on the road the other day, right? Like trusting and involving, right? I think the truth that you know and the truth that you are supersedes how you feel about things.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, trust is based on truth. And but Jesus said, John 14:6, I am the way and the truth. So like, this dude, I'm literally the truth. Like, I'm literally the truth in the flesh.
Right.
So it is immediately inherent for me to be able to trust more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In certain situations, in our small people understanding of what trust is. You know, you got to realize we're using these words.
Yeah.
We don't really know what truth, like what the full interpretation of things are.
Right. So when Jesus says he knew what was in man, so he didn't trust man.
Right.
I feel like because that's him. He knows the enemy has something in you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that means he not in his feelings. Like, he can go and involve himself with Zacchaeus, but he not in his feelings because he know what you about. Like, he knows, like Peter, he knows, I'm gonna involve you as a disciple.
Right.
Judas, I'm gonna involve you as a
Judas was
disciple,
involved.
but I know you can turn on me at any time. Like, I'm not gonna be in my feelings. I don't expect,
Right. So now,
you know,
now you
I can expect the best, but at the end of the day,
we still.
I know you can turn. Your heart can turn.
Yeah, because I mean, I know I didn't had you know young dudes come around or whatever and involved, but it was like, I'm involving you, but like, I know that you got some ways. Like, I had some stuff stolen, whatever. But like, I know you stole before, but so I'm just gonna leave you around stuff. Like, I'm gonna involve you, but I'm gonna be watching you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching.
Like Jesus pointed out Judas at the end.
Yeah, because I know what's in you. Like, I know what you about.
Yes.
I think so. So involvement is not necessarily naivety.
Right.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Of being naive. It's
Come on,
not. It's
boy,
not
you
really
broke it
being.
down.
Right. Naivety, right. It's not really being naive or being ignorant. Ignorant. The root word of ignorant is ignore.
Right.
So obviously, I know you're a thief. So I'm gonna ignore the fact that you steal stuff. I'm just gonna put you with the bag, right? And sometimes he did do that stuff too on the slick.
Yeah.
Like, he's giving you a
His
chance.
his ways are above our ways.
Yeah.
I think seeing things further than what we see. We can see them, but we just don't believe it yet. But it's not being naive.
Right.
And I think him saying he closed the door upon him, he knew what was in man. I know. His trust. I trust you for being what exactly a man gonna be.
And I'm gonna love you though.
Like, I know, I'm gonna love you. Love is that.
I'm gonna still call you a friend.
Love is we put certain words with things that really don't go. They fit into them, but they really don't go. It's like acceptance. You know, like that's not you can't define love by acceptance. Just because you accept somebody, that means you love them. That's not the truth. You know what I'm saying? Or if you love somebody, you would accept them. That's not the truth either. You get what I'm saying?
Good, because people think they have to accept all things.
No,
to love
that's
someone.
naivety. That's being ridiculous. That's not. See, the organization, the organism is putting everything in place.
Yeah.
Is everything well placed? This mic stand is everything well placed. This can't take the place of the mic.
Right.
Like, everything has to be put in its place. Every joint.
Supplies,
right? And so when he says, because he knew what was in him, I think I'm gonna close the door upon y'all right now. That don't mean I'm not coming back outside. But right now I'm gonna close the door because I know y'all all geeked and y'all so excited just because y'all like magic tricks. Y'all don't even realize that these miracles are the will of the Father, and I'm not even calling them miracles. This is just what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right.
But I know y'all. I know what y'all do. I know y'all boost. We was talking about that last time about the hype. And clout, like his brother was trying to get him to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know y'all boost. I know y'all can boost. And watch this. What you don't know is he closed the door upon them because he was trying to close the door upon himself because he knew it was in himself too. I know as a man, I know the vices of man. We've been reading about them for years. We've been experiencing them for the longest.
Yeah.
And I know that if I stay out here with y'all outside,
Yeah.
the Bible's story about you, right?
Yeah.
So he said he went in and closed the door.
Yep.
Ooh.
But the Bible story about you, that means he goes on the inside. And he does not let what they're saying on the outside tell me who I am.
Yeah.
Because if I ever let the outside define me, the outside will start making me just like them.
Yep.
Yep.
and I'll lose what my strongest point is, which is the inside, the involve. Involve, intern, enroll, to roll in. Actually, involving is individual. Right? It's an individual thing. Like you envelop yourself inside of you first. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The true part was on the inside of you first, and then this breeds what you do here. So you got a lot of people that's trying to involve people that hadn't involved themselves.
Yep.
Make sense to you?
Yep.
And a lot of people that are
From the
a lot
inside.
of organizations, that are trying to involve. Like, how do I tell you about a Jesus that I hadn't read about?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I can take you to a lot of people that hadn't, and RedIn30 is dope. But I point out, like, well, you didn't know that? That's your Jesus.
Yeah.
That's your Savior. That's the one that you're trying to witness to people about, right?
Yeah.
But you,
Yes,
you don't even know this. You didn't even know this part.
Dude, that's literally what Jesus had to do the whole time he was here.
Right.
It's talk
Right.
to all these church people like, wait,
Like, you didn't know
Isn't
this?
this your book?
Yeah, you didn't know this? Ain't your book? Your book said that.
Isn't this what y'all studying all day and night?
Involving you. So I know you probably your mind going. Now he got a message going, right? You probably
I started thinking about a lot of stuff.
yeah, right. Because but this is the point. Me too. Like that's the point. I could really like slow down and really think I have to go back and listen to these because you involve yourself. What do you involve yourself in? The will of the Father.
Yeah.
You have to go inside to turn,
Ooh.
to roll.
Come
Everybody
on.
get your roll
Roll
on. Everybody get your roll
roll
on.
on.
I'm about to say the other one.
Yeah, I was saying
Everybody
the
get your
radio
roll. You said
version.
get your everybody get your roll on. Right?
No, hey,
No,
hey.
but roll in. Get your roll on. But that's
roll
the thing.
in.
Roll
too.
in. Roll into. To roll into. To enroll.
Come on.
Hey.
Hey, the enroll.
Because that's
yeah,
a
sign 'em up.
oh man, surrounded, enveloped.
Surrounded, enveloped, yep, enrolled.
That's inside. It's surrounded. It's enveloped.
And EN is just like IN. People don't realize that in words. EN is just like enroll, like the roll in. Enroll, involve.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
Sign up. And so, but Jesus was the ultimate one for that. And I think that we have to, I don't want this to be a shallow thing to where you just go out and start trying to get people to do stuff.
Right.
That's not the key. There's more depth and more meat to it. There's more substance to it. But I guess now it always goes back to the same place, right? It always goes back to you.
Yep.
Jesus, truth, and you.
Me.
And so now I have to involve myself. I have to, if I think about the word evolve, then I think about involve. And like it's turn. My insides have to turn. My insides have to roll. Right? And in rolling, do I have to mix some more things, being mixed with faith? Like I have to do something in order for it to rise.
Stir up the gift.
Stir up the gift.
You
Lay your hands on me.
listen with the song.
Give a little more. I was like, no, what you talking about?
Y'all, when we read this
What's
definition,
really going on?
What's really going on?
when we read this, the etymology of involve, right?
Uh-huh.
I read it all, but we've been saying, envelop, surround. The next part of that is like make cloudy.
Yeah.
Obscure. Because when you surround something, you can no longer, or when you were talking about like the dough, like when you involve something and it's
Hey,
surrounded,
come on, girl.
it doesn't have the same identity. Like you can't tell what it is. Like it's cloudy now. You don't know what's what. It becomes a part of what it got involved in.
It's one thing now.
Did you know the word cloud, like when they use cloud in the Greek, it really meant like a bunch of people? Am I tripping, Jamie? We talked about that one
Really?
time. Right? It's like a bunch of people. The word cloud really interprets to a crowd of
Yeah.
people. We're such a great cloud of witnesses.
Witness,
Oh,
It's
okay,
yeah. So cloud, obscure. So now you're
Yeah.
individual,
Hey.
Yeah, yeah.
but you're surrounded to where you all become one. And
now
there's
we
no
don't know-
distinction one from the other. That's crazy,
Come
ain't it?
on.
Right? Like you're individual, but you're inside of a cloud. You're compassed by a great cloud of witnesses, where you become one. See, once again, go because I'm about to say something. Once again, God is dimensional. We don't get it.
Yeah.
We don't get it. you got to calm down because we've been defining everything by what's already been defined.
Yeah.
We're defining life by what we think our definition of life is. So when we got here, certain things were here. So we try to define God with what I remember A.W. Tozer would say something. He say it's like him sitting on a throne. But that doesn't describe it. But because you know what a throne is,
we gotta say that.
You kind of get the gist of the prestige.
Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't really take in. And he's so dimensional and beyond what we think. Not to mention that you can be an individual and not be distinct at the same time.
Yes.
Like you can be it's Black Ops. You can be inside without nobody knowing that you're there. And you can stand out and still be inside.
Yeah. Just like you can have something
That's the
and
epitome of Jesus.
be with it at the same time.
Right, have something to be with it at the same time. Right.
Yeah.
That's Jesus.
That's
Jesus thought not robbery to be equal with God, made no reputation, humble himself as a servant. This is why you've been exalted. He said that he that humble himself will be exalted. Right? He humbled himself. He said, you come here and humble yourself as a child, you'll be the greatest among all of them. Like, but that's so trippy. Go down to go up?
Yeah.
What? Lay down to go up? Get on the floor to fly? Doesn't make any sense, right? But it's the epitome of the dimensions that it's all one thing. When you think separation, you lose your power. When you think separation, you lose the oneness. Separation is the opposite of oneness. You lose your oneness. But it's dimensional that you can be a distinct individual, right? And still be a part of the greater plan where nobody has to look at you.
Yep.
What I was about to say is, how involved are you willing to be? Like, so involved that you lose your whole, like, your thing, your identity, your
They made me think about
your
that.
little details of who you are.
Talk
You know what
about
I'm saying?
it.
Like, this
Talk
is
about
me.
it.
I'm distinct. I do my thing this way.
Talk about it.
How involved are you willing to get? Wait, where are you going with this?
That made me think about the Instagram I sent to y'all the other day. It was talking about the worship draft. The worship fantasy draft, the dude named John. His name John Christ or Christ. How you say Chris?
Oh, I saw that.
He started talking, so they draft. I gotta send it to you. But they're drafted. I'll put the link in this thing so you can see it.
I just want to know if Kim Walker Smith got drafted.
She did.
Yeah,
And they
she
talking about her
did.
laugh. They go so funny. And they were going to details talking about we draft Israel. He's a big hit in the black people. He kind of hit and miss with the white people. Right? Like he said,
gotta watch
that.
it. It's
And they
hilarious.
said that, was it Bethel?
Oh, my
They said, give me Bethel. Bethel they doesn't really have any superstars. They don't have anybody that stands out. But it was so funny because it laughed so hard. Because they were talking about how, like, certain ones, they talk about Elevation, they talk about Hillsong, certain ones have a superstar, they talk about Elevation, but this lead singer left, but we still going to draft him. It was so funny, bro. But that part about,
That was funny.
can you be involved without nobody knowing that it's you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's really when people going to know you.
Yeah.
You're so, dying says we're so afraid to not live or not be acknowledged that we have lived that we're afraid to die.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But dying is the only way.
Yeah, to live.
Right? And you can't fake it. You can't do it because you want to be
No,
known.
you can't fake that.
Because if you do it because you want to be known, you're not going to get up.
Yep.
You're just going to be dead.
And the people not go
Come on.
Just gonna be
like
It's a
dead.
right
difference.
now. People don't want to be involved that much to not be recognized.
No,
Come on,
clout.
yeah.
Don't let me get on the
You
last
so
episode.
you
It's
just
clout.
gotta
Don't
inch your
bother
way in, like, so y'all see me, I'm involved, right?
Right. I
You
just want
see
to
me
sign
over
up and
here,
show you that I
right?
was here.
Yep.
No, just do
Take
what
a
you
picture
gotta
on
do.
Instagram. This is what I did this weekend
Yeah,
with the group.
Hey y'all, I'm out here volunteering today, and hey y'all, look, I'm about to give this to this poor guy.
Yep. Everybody
Hey.
got to showcase
Oh
it.
my God.
I used to be there, man. I used to be video camera following. Come on, Swag, we know, right? They coming in, we about to do all the events and everything. And it's not that you don't document things. I'm not
That's the
saying that, but your heart intent, man, got to be
Yeah.
different. If you need the cloud in the show, don't let me
You
get on
know
the cloud
you.
again. I can't
You
get on the
know
cloud
you.
again. You know you. Involving. So I think that involving is you first. Right, and then you involve others. I think Jesus is the epitome of that.
Yep.
And once again, let me say this. I should have probably said this at the beginning, but I've said it at the end. That we are not. I've said this before, but we are not this theological seminary. We don't claim to be. I'm not say professionals, but experts in anything. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at Jesus.
Like Charles Barkley said, God's the only expert.
Right, God's the only expert. No, that's real. God's the only
Right.
expert, right?
Right.
And so we still fact checked. We still look things up. We still go read it. But the epitome of it is we're not here saying, "Thus said the Lord," and this is the way. Nope.
Right.
We're just having a conversation
Yeah.
about how it goes. And some things are right up in your face.
Yeah.
And some things are here for discussion.
Yeah.
And but the whole point of it is, I need you you to look for yourself.
Yeah.
If you can look for yourself, we all look for ourselves. We all involve ourselves in the Gospels.
In RedIn30.
Okay.
Yep.
Involve yourself in. Did I say occur just now?
You
It's like
did.
I said occur. Okay, right.
He's one step away.
You did it
I said
right.
He was one step away.
He kind of know about it, but not
He was a
really.
little lazy with it.
I'm not really doing that.
Should I do this? I
Should I
should
do
do
this?
this.
Nah, shout out. Yeah. No. Involved.
Involved. Now you're involved.
Now you're involved. If we, this guy.
Hey, we done had about 8 shout outs, dog.
Yeah, we shout out so many people. Hey, we're gonna call this one shout out.
Shout out.
The title of this is gonna be the shout out.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hashtag
Involution.
Shout out. But I think that's what it is. The open conversation. Involve yourself in the red words, so the red words can involve themselves in you.
Abide.
Hey, if you abide, John 15:7. If you abide in me and my
Words
are involved. So if you involve yourself in me and my words are involved in you, you can ask what you will and be done. But don't ask for what you will, because your will gonna be off.
Come on.
Let me stop. This is another red 30.
Involved.
Part 2.
So involve. If y'all have any, questions or emails or statements or different things of that nature, we'll try to answer as many as we can. RedIn, the word 30 at gmail.com. Follow us at RedIn30 on Twitter and on Instagram.
Yeah.
Hit us in our DMs if you have questions or something to say. Please share this with a friend. We're trying to get as many people involved. as possible. Hey. And so we appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm really excited, man, about people watching and paying attention.
Bro, there's been a lot of people over the past week or two that I would have not even guessed was like watching and listening to the podcast.
That's how it works.
I was talking to the dude today. He was like, "Yeah, I started listening to the podcast while I'm at work and stuff, and it helps me." I'm like,
And I be having to remember that we're doing it. Like, not so much remember that we're doing it. I'll be like, yo, I was listening to the podcast. I was like,
Podcast.
oh, you talking about RedIn30, right?
"What podcast you
Right. What
doing?"
podcast you talking
And
about? You know what I'm saying?
we have people sharing it. We had a DM from a lady who, I think she said somebody she works with.
Yeah, they said they were agnostic or something. They were
Pagan.
Pagan or something. They
And
didn't believe.
he had questions, so she just told him about RedIn30 and put him on.
Yo,
Man,
like
put people on, man.
like that. I love it. I love it because that's the conversation.
Yep.
See, Jesus was all about that. He wasn't about dogma. I wasn't about. He was about involving you in the conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we don't understand sometimes.
Yeah. You know?
I mean, and that's okay. But bring every thought to the obedience, man. And it's
Of Jesus Christ.
yeah, and then you got so many people that's watch Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ.
Shout out number 45. We tagging all y'all in this episode.
Christ, we love you, God.
Y'all in my headphones right now, though? Oh, my God.
Hey,
GGG.
I forgot. No, but you got a lot of people too that be watching and they ain't gonna tell you nothing.
Right.
Hey, don't watch.
And
Don't
the
just
people
watch.
watch together. You know what I'm saying? We don't. You know,
Subscribe.
I understand.
Yeah, it's all
You know what I'm
good.
saying? We just want you to get it. Look,
Yep.
I tell you what,
By
you
any
ain't
means necessary.
You ain't never got to email us to say nothing. You ain't got to follow
That's
us or nothing.
true.
Can you just get in the red words?
Yep.
That's all we want.
Get in the.
All this is for that.
Yep.
If we do that, our job is accomplished. My life has been purposeful.
Yep.
Because purpose is a resource.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We love y'all. God bless y'all. RedIn30. We
Love
are
y'all.
out.
RedIn30. RedIn30.
When are you really going to learn Spanish?
Thank you for watching and listening to the RedIn30 podcast, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and you. Make sure you subscribe and share this with somebody that you love. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. We are RedIn30, so you need to be RedIn30. RedIn30, RedIn30.